Hey, it's me, the insurance guy. All right, let's talk a little bit about shopping for auto insurance. If you haven't already thought about it, it might be time. Rates are going up everywhere. Every insurance company is raising rates. Okay, not everybody's raising them the same. What I'm seeing happen in the industry is insurance companies are specializing in certain demographics. And if you fall into that demographic, you're going to get a great rate with that insurance company. If you don't fall into that demographic, your rate's going to be high, okay? And it's different for every single insurance company. Nobody is universally good or bad, okay? That being said, let's have some tips about shopping for insurance. When you call up an agent or when you go online, specifically if you're going in to talk to an agent or calling an agent, okay? Have an idea what coverage you want. You know, if your primary goal is to save as much money as you can and you normally buy state minimum coverage, understand that we may make a recommendation for higher coverage, like $50,000 per person, $100,000 per accident for bodily injury limits, or $100,000, $300,000, not because it's going to magically cost less on any individual policy, but because we know there are other carriers that might give a great rate for those coverages, and it may be less than what company you're at right now or what policy you're on right now. Okay, let us use our expertise to help you. Okay, that being said, $100,000, $300,000 for bodily injury limits on liability is going to get you the most competitive quotes across the board between companies. Okay, it's an inside thing. Okay, and that's not just on the quote that you're asking for. Okay, little inside information. If your current limits are higher on your current policy when you go shopping for insurance, you'll get lower rates on your new quotes. Okay, so if you currently carry state minimum coverage and you're going to go shopping for auto insurance, it may be worth taking time to go on your current policy, whether you go online or you call your agent, increase your coverage to $100,000, $300,000. It's going to cost you a few bucks more, but it's going to be prorated, so it's not really that big a deal. Okay, and if you're shopping quickly, it's not going to be much of a factor at all, because it's going to be days, weeks that you're dealing with that. Okay, and then shop it with those higher limits, because when you shop it with the higher limits, you're going to get better rates coming back from other insurance companies. Okay, there's two things people don't really think about when they shop for insurance that insurance companies definitely do think about. One is how long you were with your last insurance company. Okay, they really don't like giving the best rates to folks that shop for insurance every year. Okay, doesn't mean you'll get a bad rate, but you can get a better rate if you're waiting every 3 to 5 years to shop for insurance. Okay, but if you gotta save money, you gotta save money. Okay, first one to say that. All right, the other thing is your current policy limits. If you carry full coverage, you know, your comprehensive and collision coverage, and $100,000 per person, $300,000 per accident liability limits, you're going to get considered more favorably by new insurance companies. They're going to see you as a more responsible insurance purchaser, and they're going to give you the better rates as a result. Okay, it's kind of the behind the scenes ideas there. Okay, otherwise, other things to think about is your deductibles. If you're carrying comprehensive and collision, so you're quote unquote full coverage, okay, you're carrying comprehensive and collision, it sounds like a great idea to carry super low deductibles. And I'll be honest, I carry low deductibles. For the longest time I carried low deductibles, okay? But if you're a relatively safe driver, you probably don't have an accident every year or every other year. Otherwise, you're paying a lot for insurance and you're probably cutting corners wherever you can anyway. Think about what you can afford to come up with if you have an accident. Okay, if you can afford to pay for your car outright and it's not going to break the bank, so to speak, carry liability only, or carry just comprehensive, the acts of nature, you know, the hail damage, fire, vandalism, theft, the things out of your control. Okay, drop the collision coverage. Okay, if you can't, think about what you can afford. Can you afford to come up with $1,000 if you have an accident? If you can, carry $1,000 deductible. If you can't, that's going to be too much of a hardship. You've got 500. You can drop it down to 500. Understand, as you go lower, your premium goes higher because you're transferring more of that risk to the insurance company. The more risk you give to us to take from you, the more it costs you per month or per year. Okay? However, if you're barely scraping by, you've got a decent car because you got to drive a lot or whatever your reason is, and you can't afford to come up with 500, maybe you can come up with 250, $100. Okay, those limits can go lower out of pocket for the deductibles, but higher deductibles get you a much lower monthly payment. Okay, and it can make a big difference if you've got a more expensive car or you're in a higher risk category or higher risk area. Okay, think about what's right for you, because it's not the same for everybody. It's easy for me to go in and write you the state minimum with $1,000 deductibles and go, look, you have insurance and the state's going to be compliant and your loan company is going to be compliant and you're good. On paper, that may not be the best deal for you. It may not be functional if you have an accident. Okay? I can't always tell you what that's going to be for you. Okay? If I know you really well, maybe I know you can afford $1,000. Maybe I know you can't afford $1,000. But realistically, you know that I don't. Know what you need. Know what you want. Maybe you just want to carry lower deductibles, because if you have an accident, the last thing you want to do is come up with $1,000. You could do it, but you just don't want to have to mess with that. Fine. That's why you have options. There's no mandate that says you have to carry as high deductible as you possibly can. No. You want to carry a $100 deductible because the sky's blue today? Carry a $100 deductible. Who am I to tell you otherwise? Okay? Walk into your insurance open to suggestions, though. I can't say this enough. We know the industry. We know the companies we work with. Okay? Also, don't be afraid to ask about other coverages. Whether it's coverages for your house, life insurance, your motorcycle, your boat, your ATV, your golf cart, whatever it may be. Maybe you just need coverage for an engagement ring or a wedding set or something. Ask the agent for that. Okay? Whether it's something you buy right now or not, those multi-policy discounts add up. And a lot of times you can get some really good rates if you run everything together. But don't think that bundling things is universally better either. Sometimes the best rate you can get is going to be with 2 different companies, 3 different companies, 4 different companies, depending on, how much stuff you got to insure. Okay? As I said earlier, nothing's universal. Be open to suggestions. Know what you want and need. And shop. Never hurts to get quotes. Even though there's credit checks and there's background checks and all these other things that we do as insurance companies, the credit checks don't impact your credit score. They're soft hits. No credit impact. We're not loaning you money, so the banks don't care. Okay? There's absolutely no risk to getting a quote for insurance. Do it. You may be able to save some money. You might not. But if you don't save money, at least you know you're getting the best deal. Anyway, again, I'm the insurance guy. If you've got questions, send them to me. I'm happy to answer them. I'll do another one of these talking about home insurance in the next week or so. But anyway, hit me up. I'm happy to answer anything you got.